Hi there, it's Luann Lennox with TequilaSnobs, once again to give you amazing information all about tequila, which of course is my passion, what I love. So, what I want to talk about today, and I'm going to try to really condense it down because there's a whole lot to it, and by all means I don't mean to belittle it, but I'm going to, as quickly as possible, explain to you how specifically they make tequila and how tequila is made. So, first off, it comes from an agave. Agave is not a cactus, it's actually a succulent. It's the blue Weber agave, specifically to a certain region in Tequila, Jalisco, Mexico. One region, the only place they could ever make tequila and call it tequila is in, where else? Tequila. So anyway, it's made specifically, this little place, I have a little map. I don't know if you can see that, but this is Mexico, obviously. And then right there is tiny little area. There's highlands and lowlands. The tequilas that are made in the highlands tend to have a little lighter, more fresh, more agave taste, where the ones in the lowlands, rather than up high where the volcanoes are in the valleys, much like we are here in the Arizona Valley, those tequilas are a little smokier, a little, just a little mossier, a little warmer, and then versus the ones in the highlands tend to be a little airier, a little lighter, pretty easy to remember. So it's, first off, the agave has to be grown, and you will find many Scotch snobs or whiskey snobs will talk about, well, how old is your tequila and how long is it aged? Well, the truth is, our tequila and the aging process actually happens in the ground and in the growing season. With vodka, potatoes, or wheat, and oats, and hops, and all the things that all the other alcohols are made out of, they can do one crop every year, sometimes 2 or 3 crops in a year. But with tequila, the plant is never ever harvested until it's 100% mature, and maturity doesn't happen till 12 to maybe 16 years. So each of these little agave plants have to grow for a long time, 12 to 16 years, before they'll even harvest the tequila. Before they'll even harvest, I should say, the agave to begin making tequila. So the aging process is actually in the plant and in the ground. I find that very cool and very exciting. So if anybody wants to poo-poo you that your oldest and most expensive tequila is only aged in its little barrel for maybe 6 years is about max, you'll see even some of the high-end ones are only a couple years aged in their actual oak cast or the barrel. But the aging process of all tequila, even the youngest and the least expensive that's not aged in a barrel at all of them have to grow in the ground for at least 12 years and usually up to 16 years. So that could be a video by itself, but I'm going to carry on. So the agave grows to maturity. It's this enormous, huge plant, and then, and only then, is it harvested. And harvesting means they take these gorgeous plants and they chop off all of the arms. And then all that's left is this little center part that's called a piñon, or a pineapple, piñon. The humidor is the guy who actually does the work, or that's what they are called, our humidors. Actually, my little picture here shows a guy, so you can see the, this is the agave part, right? And he's chopping all the little arms off. He's got this groovy little thing that he uses to chop, and he's probably very beautiful and very muscular and very strong, and they're gorgeous men. Anyway, so they take, here's another little picture of the same kind of idea where the guy is actually chopping all of the arms off of the agaves. And then all that's left is this round center, this piñon. And that's where all the sweetness, all of the sugars are, is right there in that center after so many years of growing. So then they take all of them, chop them in half or in quarters. They're huge. They're like major, major, big, big, big. So they chop them up and they put them into, I love pictures, they put them into an oven. Usually, many of them, especially the old school ones, the ones that are really good, or really kind of old fashioned, they put them into an oven, and I have a funky little glare on there, so I don't know how well you're going to see. And then once they're roasted, again, some of the old school places will actually do this, where there's a wheel and a cute little donkey. Yes, the donkey is cute. And the little donkey walks around and around in a circle. They probably put a carrot in front of his nose, and I don't know. I hope they feed them really well and give them yummy carrots. But anyway, they walk in a circle, and they use this stone wheel, and they smash up the roasted agave hearts. Think about an artichoke heart, but much bigger. So they go around and around and around in a circle, and they grind this smoked agave up. Now there are some companies, some of the bigger ones, of course, they use machines and they electronically break them up, but I like the little donkey story. So then, once they have it all shredded up, they actually squeeze all the juice out of it, all the roasted agave juice. And at this point, if you've ever tasted it roasted agave, which you probably haven't, I have, it's very, very, very sweet, almost like sugar cane, and it's very sticky. It's yummy and sweet. And so they smoosh it, squish all of the juice out of it, and then they double or most times triple distill it. These are the little distillery, and then they put it into copper pots or stainless steel pots initially. And then, as we've talked before, that is a Blanco. It's all done, it's smushed, it's been distilled, and poof, you have amazing Blanco, young, first press tequila. Or you can let it sit. They'll take that same tequila and the same stuff, they'll bottle some of it, and then others of it they'll put in a barrel. And then they'll let it rest in that barrel. And that resting process is anywhere from 2 months to up to maybe 2 years that it rests in a barrel. And then, of course, as it's resting, it takes on the flavors of that barrel. And whether that's a whiskey barrel or a Bordeaux barrel or a bourbon barrel or whatever that barrel was used for initially, and some places use, some different companies use brand new oak barrels, white oak, or they'll use a used one. And it sounds weird for me to say used, but whatever was in that barrel, that clear, wonderful agave spirit will take on the flavor of whatever was in that barrel. So if it's a brand new barrel, it won't take on any flavors except the oak. And if it was a Jack Daniel's barrel, whiskey barrel, bourbon barrel, Bordeaux barrel, it'll take on the flavor of that. And then they put it in a bottle, or they rest it even longer. And then that one, of course, as you've learned, is called an añejo. And the longer it rests, the longer it sits there, the darker it gets, the more flavor it takes on. And some people like those better, some people like the middle ones, and some like the really young ones. There's always 3, but that is how tequila is made. And the aging process, as you heard me get really passionate, is in the ground and in the soil, and all about that growing season. So now you know how tequila is made, sort of. Don't try it on your own, though. But call me if you're going to, because I'd love to help. Have a beautiful day. Salud.